Welcome back to Fort Mort. Good to see everybody today. We are going to talk about the newest Nightsister, Merrin. She is so good, and there's a lot of confusion on how to mod her. I was lucky enough to have an R9 in my guild thanks to Rambam. We'll find out why she didn't need to go to R9, but basically he didn't pay to go to R9. His Twitch stream got him to go to R9, so he got suckered in. But she's an amazing character. She can get you through the Nightsister event way easier, the one that was impossible. You should be able to do it within 3 tries, as long as you know anything about the Nightsisters, and then you can sim it for life, which is absolutely amazing. With Merrin, they're also beating GL Jabba teams. If you can mod them right and get the turn rotation down, you can beat Jabba on a regular basis. So that's a huge win-win. As always, I'll have visuals in the video. I've got a cheap version of a visual, and I've got a really neat visual that you can understand really easy. But for me, and the way my mind works, I got to show those off. So here we go. First thing I want to point out is Merrin really does change the game a bit from a protection recovery standpoint. But to me, I don't think you really need to chase protection. If you get any extra protection on her, great. But it's just a bonus. Protection recovery is great in a fight for the Nightsisters, for banners, but they are very slow starters. And typically you have supports. But the one cool thing about these guys, these ladies, is you have almost a full stun team now. Daka, Merrin, Asajj, Spirit, all of them. Then Tenacity down coming from Zombie. You could stun lock everybody around the bench, so it's amazing. Literally in a rotation, if Daka gets her 2 stuns off her basic, you could have all 5 of them stunned in one turn. Another key note is, while I will say that you need potency on her, you do get, if you take Talzin's lead, which right now everybody's using, it's 50% potency off of Talzin's lead plus 30 speed. Keep in mind, we're going to talk about this. This young lady doesn't need speed. Okay, let's go over the kit. Deal special damage on the basic to target enemy. Inflict 2 stacks of plague for 3 turns. Talzin lead. Shadow Stride. Inflict 2 stacks of plague. More plague. On all enemies for 3 turns. And all Nightsister allies recover 10% health and protection. 10% isn't a whole lot, guys. This is why I prefer to just keep sticking to health, because everybody else were already stacking health. Merrin dispels all buffs and debuffs on herself and gains magic stealth. The next time another ally is inflicted with a debuff or defeated, Merrin loses that buff, dispels all debuffs on all allies, and revives a random Nightsister ally with 50%. Another reviver. So her buff, called Magic Stealth, can't be targeted, defeated, damaged, or gain turn meter. There we go, about not needing speed. Immune to buffs, debuffs, and taunt effects if no allies are present. Lose Magic Stealth, aka she can't use it anymore. Kind of like Zombie's still there but can't revive. Third ability, deal special damage to target enemy and stun them. Here's that stun for 1 turn. If this attack defeats an enemy, inflict 4 stacks of plague on all enemies for 3 turns. Did you listen to that again? If this attack defeats an enemy, inflict 4 stacks of plague on all enemies for 3 turns. Dispel buffs on each enemy with 2 or more stacks of plague on them. Literally, think about that. If you want to take the buffs off of the opponent, let's say a tank, for instance, get the taunt off, they've got more than 2 stacks of plague, which they should, unless they're high tenacity, but you should have high potency to counter it. Then you're going to take that off. Her unique. The first time a Nightsister ally is defeated each encounter, Merrin gains 100% turn meter. That's why you didn't need speed again, which can't be prevented whenever a Nightsister ally is defeated or revived. Pay attention to that. Whenever a Nightsister ally is defeated or revived, Merrin gains 15% turn meter, which can't be prevented, plus 2% per relic amplifier level of the defeated or revived character. So whoever you revived or whoever was defeated, their relic level counts. So if they're relic 8, you get another 16%, which is 31%. Not Merrin's relic level. While Merrin has allies, her speed is set to 0. Again, why you don't need speed. And she is immune to turn meter manipulation. Whenever a Nightsister, this is the Omicron, I'm not going to cover it. Whenever an ally is inflicted with the debuff, if Merrin has 0% turn meter, dispel all debuffs from that ally, and Merrin gains 25% turn meter. Again, why you don't need speed, which can't be prevented. If Merrin has more than 0% turn meter, she gains 10% turn meter instead, which can't be prevented. In essence, you want her at 0. So I'm hearing rumors about how you don't want Zombie in some cases with Merrin, and I can see why, because with the revive and the defeats and the revive and the defeats, she can actually revive people. You know, Doc, if she's modded well, is going to revive people and get to her revive faster when people are going down. So there is that potential there against certain teams. Looking into her mastery, we're looking at accuracy. critical avoidance, and damage. You guys got to remember at Relic 9, these are stupid high stats. Potency sitting at 160%, tenacity at 130%. I recommend loading up on both. Damage is low though for this character, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you what I recommend in comparison. This one is health modded and potency modded. They're pretty good mods overall. I'll show them to you. Potency, speed, health, protection, everything you need. Potency, offense, speed, defense. Don't really need the defense, but it never hurts. Protection, speed, offense, tenacity, all good. Health, no speed. No speed because you don't need it. Health, protection, health, offense, potency. Potency, defense, tenacity, speed, and health. Health, speed, protection, potency, and offense. So again, this is going to come down to what mods they had available. And from what I'm seeing, 90% of what I see on these mods is fits this kit. It's just not exactly the way I would want, air quotes, want to mod her all the way around. If I were to have 100% great Merrin. All right, I'm going to show you the cheap visual before we get to the good one. My recommendation, especially for the lower end accounts, is to start with 2 potency, 2 tenacity, and 2 health. You would need the health, but with the revives, you should be able to handle it. And actually at a lower gear, she's really helpful. So, and the tenacity, you want her to be able to make her moves. So you want to get that as high as you possibly can, but you also need the potency because she can't do anything without the potency. She can't move if she's stunned. She needs tenacity and potency. She needs to be able to land her hits. When you get to a higher relic level, or to the relic levels, I change that up to offense and potency. She will hit hard, similar to Mother Talzin. You can still do the potency, tenacity, health, but I recommend slightly better, and you'll see that if you go to SWGOH and you look at what the higher end folks are doing. Offense ×4, potency ×2. Secondary stats, you want health, potency, offense, tenacity, followed by excess and extra bonuses or protection, crit chance, and defense. Then you want health on the circle, health on the arrow, health on the triangle, health on the cross. The only thing that changes that is when you get to the relic levels, if you start stacking offense, get as much as you can, and you can put crit damage on your triangle. And you also, if you're not high enough, can put potency on your cross. Relic priority, I put her at a, depends on what you're using with your Nightsister. So I put 8 on this because she's a really good character, especially at Relics. She can work very well too. I have 4 Relic Nightsisters and a gear. Would I put the Zeta on her early? I would not. But at Relics, I definitely would put it on. Anybody you do put into Relic, you ought to, I shouldn't say anybody, but most characters, if you take them to Relic, you should go ahead and invest the Zeta. As long as it makes sense. Speed is set to 0, but gains turn meter through the kit. Insta kill stopper in the kit as well. Which also reminds me, I just realized, see how it's sitting there like this? I didn't realize I had to scroll. My bad. I knew something was missing. Whenever an enemy is damaged, all Nightsister allies recover 5% protection, which this is really good when you're trying to recover banners. Early on, they're slow starters. You're trying to get everything set up in a battle like that. But with them, the protection recovery, if you get, let's say, 3 or 4 characters down and you want to recover protection, this is the way you do it in order to get your banners back. Here's the defeat immunity part. Whenever a Nightsister ally is revived, grant all allies instant defeat immunity for 2 turns, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. And there is a 20% chance to inflict all enemies with 1 stack of plague for 3 turns at the end of the turn. This is what I was talking about a little while ago. Plus 10% per relic amplifier level, maximum 100%. AKA, Relic 8 will have a 100% chance. You know what that means for R9? Ram Bam? That means 100% chance still. So don't be a Ram Bam. Don't R9 or just take it R8. Awesome. All right, moving on. Back to that cheap visual before we get to the good one. She doesn't have a speed minimum. You don't want speed on her, plain and simply. Mastery, again, is accuracy, crit avoidance, and damage, so that's all going to scale when they get to relic level. Now remember, with the plague ability, every time that a Nightsister uses a special ability, you have take a chance to land plague, which means potency, 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 specifically on Talzin and on Merrin. This team could potentially be a stun lock team, so again, potency, potency, potency. With her in particular, I like to have as much tenacity as possible, but I'm not going to go all out of my way. Another unique thing about her, those rare moments. Had to switch over to my account real quick. I want to show you this. She's only gear 7. Those rare moments where you have a potency mod with a tenacity primary or a potency primary with a tenacity mod. This is a good fit for her. I didn't necessarily need the speed here, but it was a good fit and a way for me to put this in while she's at lower levels. This one potentially could be at higher levels too, but probably going to go somewhere else because that 14 speed, if it hits again, maybe I can use it on somebody like Yoda or B2 or something on that line. So this is a unique character in that facet. Tenacity, potency, potency, tenacity. Maybe you can even find a health mod with tenacity or potency primary and then a massive hit of tenacity or potency on the bottom because you don't need the speed. I love characters like this because they take my trash mods and make them wonderful. All right. Okay, last thing I want to point out is the mod visual. You guys can see it here from a standpoint of you're going to want health on the arrow, health on the triangle. Potentially when you get to relic levels, you're going to want offense or even better crit damage if you stacked a lot of offense elsewhere. Health on the cross or potency potential. And of course, on your square, you've got offense. Your diamond, you've got defense. And then we definitely want health on the circle. You will notice there is not protection here. I am not a believer in stacking protection, but if you have any on the secondaries, that is amazing. Speaking of secondaries, we've got health, potency, offense, tenacity, crit chance, and protection. Kinda in that order, but definitely health and potency and offense at the top. Specifically, when she's lower level, you want higher potency, in particular tenacity if you can, and then as much as health as you can. She's going to die anyway when she's lower level. Thank you guys for being here today. I thank you for supporting me in every manner, including that one that you just saw right over there. And don't forget, we are 1 battalion strong.